Having a great discussion online can be a fabulous way to connect with somebody from another culture and never be in the same room with them. It's very difficult to travel 10,000 miles. It costs a lot of money, costs a lot of time, but if you know how to have a conversation online, you can really make a really good connection and learn a great deal. It starts with, first, a really good post, as we learned about in the other lesson, and then to have a good response. So what makes for a good response? Well, we know it really isn't a conversation just to hit the like button on Facebook or to say, ooh, that was cool. We want to get into a deeper conversation. So the way we do that is much like we do in a conversation that we're having face-to-face. And we don't think about it, but it usually has 5 key elements to it. The first is, when we're having a conversation, is we thank the person for what they had to say. Second is clarify to make sure we understood it correctly. The third then is to give a personal reaction to what it is that you heard, comparing and contrasting. Say how it made you feel. The fourth then is to provide new information so that they then have something to react to. And then the final is to leave with a question so that they have something to respond to. If you do those 5 things, it can really be a good conversation. So let's take the example that you have about the Ganga River post. If I were to respond to that posting, whether it be the video clip itself or if the written post, I might first say, 1, wow, thanks for posting that amazing picture of the person burning at the Ghat. The second would be, I might clarify and say, it looks like, from what you're saying, that the person is there for maybe as much as 2 hours on the fire, and they're completely wrapped up, and then they get put into the water, whatever is left, their remains. The third would be then giving a personal reaction. And I might then say, wow, I've never seen anything like that before, but when I first read your post, it made me think about history that I had seen hundreds of years ago with the U.S. when witches were burned at the stake. And then the fourth thing I might say in adding new information would be, you know, your post caused me to think more about what this was all about. And so when I did some further research, I found out that in fact, not everyone gets burned at the Ghat, that it tends to be people who can afford it in higher classes, and that there is cremation, but it tends to be considered a lesser thing in India. People can get cremated as they are in the States. And then the final thing is leaving a question. And so I might say something like, would you ever consider, after you're dead, being burned in that way and having your ashes put in the Ganga? Would that be important to you? So if we think about those 5 things, and you don't always have to do those 5 things with each response, but it will help you have a more engaging response to a good post and get you into a deeper conversation, that you end up learning a lot, they earn a lot, and it's worth your time.